All right,
Dub.
it is now
Pretty
time
cool.
for the Week 12 Fantasy Show. We are getting very, very close to the end of the regular season and the start of the playoffs. It feels like just yesterday that the draft happened and we were starting the first few weeks, but we are almost through it. 3 weeks left. We get into Week 12 here where you play teams that you played at the very beginning of the season, so that will be interesting to look at. But looking first at what happened last week in Week 11, we saw my team finally come through with a decent week to get a win over Cheese, who was at 7-3 at the time. So big win to keep my season alive. I move now to 4-7 with 130.78 to Cheese's 101.12. Rough week for Cheese as he falls to 7-4, but didn't lose really any ground because all the other top teams lost as well, which we'll talk about in a minute. But good week for me. Obviously, the headline and the main story in this matchup was the trade that was made, the three-way trade that was made between me and Cheese, where I got Josh Allen from Cheese's team, and boy, did my Joshy Poo come through in the very first week against Tampa with 6 total touchdowns, 3 passing and 3 rushing for 42 big points. And really, that's the difference in the matchup. If Cheese has him to go with his McCaffrey's 35 points, he would have won this matchup easily. As Caleb Williams had a bad, mediocre game with only 10 points on Cheese's side. Really, other than that, it was very mediocre from my lineup. A lot of like 8, 9, 10 point performances from Warren. Harvey didn't do as well as I thought he would do, although he did get some of the workload. Say Flowers just did okay. It was really just Josh Allen and my boy George Pickens on Monday night coming through with a huge monster game of 9 catches, 144 yards, and a touchdown, 29 big points. And that was good enough to get 130 and get the win over Cheese. So big win to keep my season alive. Also, with Ernie losing, gets me 2 games out of that last place, so that was big as well. So yeah, great week for me to keep my season chugging to the next week. Gonna just have to put in another performance like this. Hopefully Josh Allen can just keep carrying me and see what happens. Cheese, comments from your side of things? Down week for you?
GG, good week for you, golfer. Good matchup. I would say that my team had a pretty bad week, but I kind of highlight why I made the trade because Josh Allen's not going to have 40 every week, unfortunately. So I think Caleb's going to have better weeks, and I definitely needed another player on my team because, as you can see, my wide receivers are collapsing into dust.
Yeah, Ricky Pearsall, you made a trade for him,
Oh,
and
I
he
mean,
got
he'll
one
ease
point.
in. He'll ease into it. Like, I'm not worried about that. But
Okay.
like, I definitely needed another player, and then Caleb can definitely score higher in some weeks. So like, I will miss Josh Allen, but him plus getting a bunch of zeros in my other players is not the way to go.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'd rather
I
have the
know, but I
depth.
mean, your team though the whole season has kind of been Josh Allen and McCaffrey, and then kind of
Yeah, so
just
that's why I'm
filling
trying to
in for
I'm trying to
somebody
get some
else.
depth because I feel like fucking
So you think what?
Cortland Sutton is useless now. So I need more players.
You think Pearsall and Pierce are going to be your depth?
I think they can come back stronger.
Okay.
That's what I'm betting on. I mean, it might not work out.
All
Who
right.
knows?
Interesting. All right. Anybody else want to make any comments on this matchup?
Well, it looks like some people are already looking forward to next season. I'm not
Okay.
going to say who,
It's not
but
me. I'm still firmly in the current,
there are a
just
few
trying to
people in
stack
this
wins.
league,
I mean,
and
also, yeah, I'm still gonna make the playoffs, so like we can take
that
losses.
wasn't your attitude yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yeah, I mean, you are still in a strong, strong position. Get the playoffs. I mean, you figure if you get one more win, you definitely lock yourself in. But even at 7 wins, you probably are getting in. But you never know. Uh, so yeah, anybody rat? Any comments on this matchup?
Zero comment. Two teams that won't win the league at all, so it
Oh,
doesn't matter.
okay, strong words there. All right. Moving on then to the next matchup, we saw Bill just take Ernie behind the woodshed and put him in the AFK woodshed that he belongs in all season long. 134.10 to 83.34. Horrible week for Ernie. Now 2-9. I believe that's now what 8 straight losses on the season. That's got to be close to a record. I think I had like 7 straight to end the season last year. But 8 straight this year for Ernie. He's now 2-9. Now 2 games back of everybody else for that last place. So it's just collapsed for Ernie this season. And his lineup on paper, you look at it, it doesn't always look that horrible, but his team just doesn't perform. Judkins is very iffy. He either has a huge game or he has nothing, and this week it was nothing. Drake May also kind of came back down to earth as they started kind of slow against the Jets and didn't really have the big fantasy week. Just continue the Barkley. I mean, if Ernie gets last place, I hate to say it, it's going to be because of his Eagles boys. Barkley has not done the first round top 5 pick level that he was drafted to do this year, and AJ Brown as well. Just nothing good for him. Quinton Johnson
If
put up a goose egg. He has continued to struggle, as has gone downhill with Ernie's season. Um, I mean, T. Higgins
uh,
was kind of, I guess, a bright spot, but other than that, it's just a big yikes from Ernie's team. And on Bill's side, he keeps chugging along wins. He's now 5-6. He's rolling them off. I don't think a lot of people gave him much chance of about 4 or 5 weeks ago, but he has turned his season around and now putting himself in the mix to get into one of those spots. Unfortunately and unlucky for him, he couldn't get some other matchups to go his way this week as all the 5-5 teams won when it looked like a couple of them might have lost or had a chance to lose. So unfortunately didn't gain as much ground as he could have, but still he just keeps winning and keeps giving himself a chance. His team name is a little bit out there, headed to the playoffs. I don't know about that. He's still got a lot of work to do. But when you can start J.J. McCarthy and still win and still score 134 points. I mean, you got to know starting J.J. McCarthy is going to be shit. He's complete dog shit, Bill. I know he's your Michigan boy, but 6 points, yikes. But Derrick Henry had a very nice game with 20. Gibbs did his normal thing. Then his receivers were kind of yikes with Washington only getting 4 and Abuka only getting 9. But he had a monster game from McMillan with 33 huge points. He has been coming on, which has helped spur Bill's comeback this year, plus getting Kittle back with 24 solid points. Those have all kind of spurred Bill's comeback this season, and he continues to go strong despite having some bad performances in certain spots. Gets another win against a poor quality Ernie team, and now 5-6. Anybody want to make any comments on these two teams or this matchup?
I like Bill's team. I'm
What's that?
saying he's going to bounce back. I like Bill's team. I'm saying he's going to bounce back all year.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I mean Ernie's been just like he could. It's kind of on him to be honest that he's the last.
Yeah, I
I'm
think this is not
like
only
I
is the
can't
fantasy
even.
gods justifying, and this is karma, but it's deserved because he really hasn't made too many big moves this year. He'll come in the chat once and say send trades, but then when people send trades, he doesn't really negotiate or try to get
Yeah,
a
I
deal
mean
done.
I've sent him like I'm not saying he has to accept, but I've sent him multiple trades. You know,
Yeah.
during like his bye week issue where he could have gotten players.
I mean, Ernie's never the one to send a lot of trade offers. He
Well, he
usually
did send
wants to
me.
get them,
He sent
but then he
one
doesn't negotiate.
counter. He sent one counter to me the other week,
Hmm,
and it was CMC, Sutton, and Jacoby Myers for Saquon and Dalton Schultz. So that was declined.
okay.
Um, but yeah,
I
I mean,
mean, I just think if Ernie was maybe a little more proactive this year, early on in the year, he had some high trade candidates. He could have traded Quinton Johnson earlier in the season, maybe even like a Barkley or something earlier in the season, or Judkins when he was
Judkins.
hot. And now
To
they
be
kind of
fair, he
just
tried.
they've all lost a lot of value this year as the season's gone on. They're not nearly as high as they were before. Uh, so yeah, I don't see much fight from Ernie. I was told last week in DMs that he was gonna fight to avoid last place, and the trade deadline has gone and passed, and he hasn't made any moves. So I don't see really the fight. He is now with this loss mathematically eliminated, the first and only person mathematically eliminated from the playoffs this season. So going forward for the rest of the season, he can't pick up waiver claims unless it's after waivers, after everybody else has had their pick, and if only if he has a lineup hole with nobody on the bench to fill the spot. So he's basically shut down. Don't know if he's going to be able to recover now that he's 2 games back, but we'll see. Um, Anybody else have comments on these two teams? Anybody think Bill is getting in, like his team name says?
I think Bill's getting in.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Bill believer.
His
His,
team ain't good, even if he
his
does
team's
miss the
coming alive.
playoffs.
Okay. Zach says, so Zach, you think he might get in,
I
but then he's
mean,
losing in the first round?
his flex is kind of
Yeah.
inconsistent. But everyone's flex is inconsistent, so I don't know.
Yeah. He needs Dart to come back this week, which is looking somewhat on track because you can't be starting. Bill went
He
from
won't
having like
have Mike
3 quarterbacks
Slayton to
to
throw
having like
to,
just Dart
though.
now. What's that, Zach?
He won't have Slayton to throw to,
Mm,
unfortunately.
okay. Thank you for that. All right. Rat, any comments on your boy Ernie?
I don't know. Just had a bad year. He
Slayton's a
did
good
try
player.
to make a trade. He did actually have a trade done, but it got canceled because Cheese got baited into canceling it. Yeah. He did try to sell
Are you talking
Junkins
about that
back
trade
then.
like way in the
Yeah, he
middle of the
did.
season?
Yeah, but you're not counting that as a trade. You
No.
said he
No, if I
doesn't make a.
got Justin
The,
Jefferson any earlier than I did, I would have traded him.
Yeah, that's and yeah, I think Bill has
I
a
sent I
better
sent him
chance of winning all than some of these top teams.
I sent Ernie a million offers for Judkins and not even a counter or nothing. So
Me and Ernie would have gotten a deal done for Jefferson.
Bill has a top three team.
a top three
Oh my
team, really?
God, you
Yeah.
are just
Wow,
a
that's a
loser.
strong statement. Top
I
three
hope he
team.
wins it too, because he actually has kids to support. Some of these guys like Cronky and shit don't have shit to support. Cronky doesn't
Wow,
Wow.
fucking money.
wow,
Jesus. Going fucking child support
wow.
route? You want this league to be fucking child
Yes.
support?
this is
Bill
the
Bill has a
rat.
decent job. I think Bill's just fine. I don't think he needs the fantasy money to. Bill will
This
fucking
is
blow this fantasy money on fucking
There is 3 people
crypto
I do
and
not want
Bovada
to win
betting.
this league, and I don't care who.
Hey, crypto.
The 3 people are Slaps, Cheese, and Pusa.
Oh
Wait,
yeah,
what were
Anybody
those
else?
3 that you just said?
Anybody else can win this league, but Slaps, Cheese, and Pusa.
hey, I've already won it. I'm good.
wow.
Hmm,
Cheese,
okay.
you are a sleeper candidate.
I am. I mean, I feel like everything kind of has to go
Yeah,
right,
I'll be
which
sleeping for a long time if he's a sleeper candidate. God damn,
Oh,
this team's dog
like
shit.
all right,
that's
interesting.
Finally
fair.
Strong
showing.
words
Wow.
there from Rat. All
Finally
right, moving
showing.
on then to the next matchup. We saw this was the closer one of the week. We saw Pusa get a monster win over Zombie to send Zombie to 7-4, 124.52 to 110.64. So big win for Kroenke. He was 5-5 if he would have lost this matchup, which for a while it was not looking good for Kroenke. He would have went to 5-6, but he gets the big win, so he's feeling much better now. He was so giddy in the party the last 2 days. 6-5 now in a much stronger position than 5-6, and gets a big win over Zombie, who's one of the teams to beat this season. Um, I mean, this matchup was the battle of shit quarterbacks who somehow did shit. What is this now? Back-to-back weeks that Herbert hasn't done that great. 14 and then 3.34 this week against frickin' Jacksonville. They just absolutely dominated the Chargers from start to finish. Meanwhile, though, for Lamar's side, it wasn't much better as he struggled against that Cleveland defense with only 4.72. So Zach was feeling really good about possibly trade raping him for with Lemar, but yet he still got the win. Um, Bijan Robinson with 30 huge points, JSN with 20, so that was big. Obviously, those two guys always perform for Pusa's team. And then McBride, 27, made up the slack. And then what really turned this matchup around was on Sunday Night Football when Jamison Williams had a big game with 19 points. The one bright spot on the Lions offense with that long touchdown. So that was big for Kroenke. On Zombie side, he did have a couple highlights with Chain having a nice game. And then, of course, in typical Zombie fashion, he starts some bum receiver like Michael Wilson, and he pops off for 33 huge points to give Zombie a chance. But some of his stalwarts like Odunze and Rashee Rice and Amon-Ra all in the single digits, and that was kind of the difference in the matchup. So both these teams, at what some of their stars let them down, but Kroenke had enough points to get the win. Zombie really not too bad, but it was a missed opportunity for Zombie to kind of take that top spot away from Slaps if he would have won this week with everybody else at the top losing. So he does miss that chance. Now it's 7-4, but still looking good for the playoffs. It's a big win for Kroenke, as we said, to get him one step closer to the playoffs. Anybody want to make any comments on this matchup?
Kroenke got lucky.
He got lucky. Okay.
Got lucky.
Got lucky with the bad Lemar performance, but still won.
Yep, he got
Yeah.
lucky. Zombies
You know
player
what?
didn't pop
I'm
off.
gonna say this. I
Okay.
agree with Zach that Pusa got lucky. Pusa will reach 6 foot before he wins a ring in this league. His team is
Well,
ass.
I don't think he's
Wow.
growing. I don't
How
think.
long
I
you been
think he's
waiting to say
past.
that?
I think he's past the stage of growing still
And
in height.
Zombie, if they played in a rematch, Zombie would smoke Pusa.
Well, this could. Anybody think this is a potential finals matchup?
Oh no, Pusa's not
No.
making the finals. Be good.
I don't
I
know
mean,
this year. I feel like there's a million, like, I
Don't
don't
even
know.
say. Don't say there's a million winners here, bud.
Not a million.
You're
I'm
not
saying
one of
it's
them.
like, buddy, I'm just saying, like, we all thought Zombie's team's unbeatable, and he puts up a shit performance this week. Like, I don't know. I feel like,
You're right. Tyler's winning the league.
no, but I'm just saying,
I
like, I
I
feel like
agree with what you're saying,
we've had
Cheese.
more
There's not
dominant
like
teams in the
one heavy
past.
favorite team this
We've
week.
had more dominant teams in the past.
Yes, I agree. I think it's pretty balanced. I think if you can get into the playoffs, you have a chance. But I would
I'm
say on
praying on
paper,
Pusa's
these two teams
downfall.
probably have the biggest stars on paper to have like huge games, and that's kind of what you want in the playoffs.
Have you ever heard of Jonathan Taylor?
Yes, I said these are two of the teams. I didn't say they're the only two, buddy. You also have that now after your trade. Relax. All right,
Okay.
so moving on then to the next matchup. Speaking of Zach, with all his stars, only put up 89 points this past week, losing to Tyler 109 to 89. Just a rough matchup altogether. Tyler only scores 109 points, but gets a much-needed big victory for him, so he's fortunate to be playing Zach's team this week. Falls Zach to 7-4, also missing a chance to move into that top spot potentially with a win. Tyler now 6-5, so he gets that big win to stay ahead of Bill and keep everybody else distance in the playoffs. He had Mariota get him a decent performance. I mean, for Mariota, that's about as much as you can hope for in the 15 to 20 range. He'll take that every time. Meanwhile, Joe Flacco had one of his worser games of the year as Pittsburgh just absolutely shit on them. Chase Brown, though, did have a nice game for Cincinnati. He was the one high spot in that game, as Jamar Chase only had 6 points, 3 catches on only 10 targets, and then obviously had the spit debacle towards the end of the game, which he is now suspended next week for, so that's not good from Zach's team.
Hell yeah.
He had to start Nick
AI.
Chubb as his second running back, who only got 1.7 points. Jefferson had a typical new Jefferson performance where he gets targets but only catches about half of them because J.J. McCarthy is horrible. Mark Andrews, though, did have a nice game. He continues to look pretty strong in the second half of the season. He did start Mac Collins on Thursday night, who looked pretty lively in that offense, but then obviously having to start a Cleveland Brown and Jerry Jeudy. Good luck with that. On Tyler's side, like we said, Mariota did decent. Aaron Jones, he started, did okay, well enough. He really needs Bucky Irvin to come back as Rashad White ain't it. Wandell did mediocre. Puka, kind of one of his worser games of the year, with only 14. Travis Kelce, though, made up for the slack with 24 huge points. And Trey Tucker did halfway decent, even though he already had the win before Monday Night Football. Overall, two kind of mediocre sides this week. There was a lot of lower scores, though, this week for a lot of people. But nonetheless, Tyler just has to get these W's to get into the playoffs and see what happens. And he gets a big one over Zach this week. Zach, your comments after losing to Tyler?
Just as I predicted, the lineup I have formed, it might not win again until week 14 or week 15, hopefully. But when my players are at full strength, watch out.
I mean, but
When
you
I
did
get
have
Chase,
Chase Jefferson and
I didn't
Chase
have
Brown.
Scary Terry. I didn't have Jonathan Taylor. Come on.
Okay.
And they had
Why
a down
why
week. They had a
why are
down
we
week.
why are we acting like Scary Terry's gonna play again?
I mean, they
Okay,
could
you're
shut
funny.
him down. You never know.
Okay, relax.
Buddy, the Commanders are complete
Golfer,
dog
I
shit.
think the last playoff spot's gonna be a dogfight with my team kind of following Zach's team in bye week mode for the next few weeks. It's gonna be very
Yep.
close.
Yeah, did maybe some of these 7-win teams count their blessings
I
a
also
little
have
early
bye
here?
weeks.
We'll see. I don't know. I mean, you still had some big players like Chase and Jefferson. I just
And they had a bad week. What can I say? Everybody has a
I mean,
bad
but
week
this is kind of the
sometimes.
new normal for Justin Jefferson,
Oh,
which is why
please.
Kroenke traded
Please.
him away. I
Okay,
mean,
Lemar still got less points
I mean,
than
look at his
Justin
last
Jefferson.
like 5 weeks. He's had 12,
It
14,
takes
16,
time for
7, 11.
a quarterback and a wide receiver
Mm,
to gel.
mm,
Just
okay.
give it a little time.
All right. All right. Well, we'll see. Overall, big win for Tyler, even though he doesn't score that much. Do we think Tyler is getting into the playoffs, or with these kind of lower performances, does he still at risk?
Let me look at his team. Hold on, hold on. He it's just so middling.
Yeah, which maybe he
And
doesn't make it off of that.
Puka's kind of dropped down a little bit.
I think his
Keenan, that
schedule, whatever his schedule is, will determine if he gets in or not.
well, he's playing. I mean, if you want to look at
If he
that,
gets some more wins like he got this week, then he'll make it. But
he's playing Anth,
that's a big matchup.
then me.
Mm.
That's a big man. And then he plays Puka. I mean, it's
So he's got a
doable.
tough schedule. He might
Oh
not
no,
be favored
he's
in any
playing
of those.
He's playing Puka by
Uh,
Apocalypse.
so it could come down to
Patriots
that
by
final week.
Patriots
Interesting.
by.
All right. Moving on then to we'll save that one for last. Pook gets another big win here over Slaps. 128.82 to 93.3. Slaps, after taking the top spot in the standings last week, then follows it up with a loss. However, he is still in the top spot because everybody else below him lost in the top. But Pook gets a big victory to go to 4-7 as well, so he joins that group. And the bigger thing is he was saying was trying to avoid last place, and that win this week might have done it for him, as he now goes 2 games ahead of Ernie, clear of that last place spot, and gets a decent amount of points for as well. Had a huge game from Dak Prescott on Monday night to seal the deal, even though he already had it won. And then Travion Henderson, as Pook season goes, it goes with Travion Henderson. These last few weeks, Pook has been putting up a good amount of points, and it's because of some huge games from Travion Henderson. Another 3 touchdowns to follow up his 2 touchdown performance last week. Diggs also had a very nice game. Um, Waddle just did okay. The tight end is a big issue for Pook, as the Jets tight end is just ass. Shakir had a horrible game as well with only zero point 0.7, and Bowers just did okay, but he overcame it with the big performances from Henderson, Diggs, and Prescott. On Slap's side, just very mediocre altogether. Jalen Hurts had one of his worst games of the season, even though they won. Josh Jacobs picks up an injury and only gets 4 points, so we'll have to monitor that moving forward now. Kyron Williams was kind of the one bright spot with 16, and Debo with 20. Tried to give him some hope mid Sunday, but overall the rest of his performances, Jawan Jennings in single digits, Theo Johnson in single digits, and Devontae Adams, even though he caught a touchdown, that was his only catch on 8 targets, so not great. From Slaps' side, tough loss, but Pook's team kind of on fire these last few weeks, giving him a chance if he can go, as he said in his team name, 3-0. That gets him to 7-7, and maybe somehow he just squeaks into the playoffs. might line up for, like we said, that Tyler versus Pook matchup in the final week of the season. But Pook's kind of guys that have been getting him on a roll, the Patriots boys, are on bye in that week, so that's going to be something to watch if Pook can get to that point. Anybody have any comments on this matchup or either of these teams?
Cook's
Puka.
team is trash. He won't make the
Oh,
playoffs.
so okay,
Okay,
so
let's
not
not.
buying the Pook run. Okay,
I mean, I think he's doing a good job to avoid last, like I said before.
yep.
The only issue with his team is the Patriots are known terrorists, and so they're going to give Ramondre Stevenson a ton of touches.
Okay, we'll see. Surely after these 2 games by Henderson, they can't
Well,
just
also
put him
Booty
back to second
is going to
running
be
back.
back, so Diggs has dropped like maybe a small bit too. Uh, and I feel like he's having a good run, but I think it's going to fall short for the
Okay.
playoffs.
I mean,
Also, what's his
there
points
is
for
still some
again?
holes in his lineup, but he needs Bowers to
Oh,
keep
his points for is
performing.
also kind of terrible. for being
I
that
mean, it's
low.
not horrible, but
But he would need to like.
he's been
I mean, it's
putting
not
up
horrible.
he's been
It's
putting up
more
some
than
big weeks,
Bill.
so
It's more
yeah.
than Bill, but he would have to. Yeah, I mean, I think Bill's a better chance, but I don't know.
Yeah,
A
well, I
lot could
mean,
shake
Bill
up.
is a whole game ahead by a win, so that's going to help Bill's case.
I mean, the issue is who's going to fall out. I mean, it's definitely Tyler,
Yeah, well, I mean,
but
we'll talk about the standings
I
here
don't
in a
know.
minute. Anybody,
Oh, I mean,
Slaps, even though he lost and is 8-3, he's still at the top of the standings. Is
so
anybody
yes,
believing that Slaps holds on and get this
I
bye?
he could, but I do want to say Slaps' team having a bad week is another thing where it's like we don't have like some juggernauts this
Yeah,
year.
and then he picks up an
People's teams
injury, big injury with
like Zombie's
Jacobs.
team, his teams, like people's teams are going from like 140 down to like 99. Like people's teams are fluctuating, as you know.
Yeah,
We've
I
had a
mean, but
couple of
that's
years. We had a
fantasy in general.
yeah, but I feel like
Teams,
the last few years we had like at least one team that's just steamrolling for a decent chunk of the season.
yeah,
So
okay.
and the injury could hurt. Who's his backup?
He
Does
doesn't
he
really have
have
one.
a running back on the roster? No, he has no running
Demercado's
back.
out already.
Blake
He's got to
Corum
go
or
Corum or
something.
Theo Johnson
No, a
or
running
Tyler
back. He needs another
Johnson.
running back. Yeah, Tyler Johnson. I would start Tyler Johnson, but it's not really a good
Yeah.
starter.
Hopefully, for my sake, Jacobs is out this week because I play Slaps. All right, and then moving on to the final matchup of last week, and it was the closest and biggest. It wasn't high scoring, but it was very close and came right down to the wire. Anth, one of those, the third of those 5-5 teams, picks up a monster win over Rat, who really needed to run the table or at least beat this one this week.
Ah,
106.24 to 104.72 sends Rat to 4-7. Anth now 6-5 after that big win. And Anth, last week on the show we talked about Anth had tons of lineup issues between injuries and buys. It only got like worse for him as the week went on. He also now picked up a Drake London injury now that he has to deal with next week. So just a lot of issues, but somehow by the grace of fantasy gods and by somehow facing Rat's team, who also laid a shit egg, he gets the win. Baker Mayfield just did okay for Rat. Rico Dowdle did decent with 15. But then after that, Genti only had 9.4 in that trade he made for him. He didn't get a touchdown. That's kind of the Genti line. He gets about 10 unless he can get into the end zone. Nico Collins, though, had a nice game to try to save Rat. Kate Otten did nothing. Devontae Smith was a big letdown on Sunday night. Rat was feeling probably halfway decent going into Sunday night, and then Devontae Smith did absolutely nothing the whole game and only had one catch. So that really hurt him, and then it made it a lot more iffy where then he needed CeeDee Lamb and Genti to outscore Tyler Lockett by about 20 some points. And unfortunately, it came so close. As we all know, CeeDee Lamb had a wide open touchdown on the side where he was wide open, and Dak overthrew and he dropped the ball and he didn't catch it. And that is at the end of
maybe
the
if
game.
he wasn't out late at night in Vegas the night before, he would have caught that ball.
Yeah,
He only got
maybe.
benched the first drive, get
Yeah,
extra
I mean,
points. Yeah.
hey, that benching worked pretty well because they both came in and started performing. I mean, CD
But
caught
it
a
wasn't
touchdown
enough
early
for
on, but
Fake
it
Rat,
wasn't
was it?
enough for
I'm gonna
Rat.
say fake Rat. It was a valid effort. But
Wow,
your
you're telling him to
cards.
throw. See, he's already throwing in the towel, but he
Look
still is not
forward
done
to
yet.
next year, Fake Rat.
Okay.
Well, I think this is the week right here. This is gonna. I feel like we're getting a lot of eliminations this week by default. So this
Well,
is.
yeah, because some of the 4 and
But
7s will probably
but
lose.
Rat,
Fake Rat will
you
be
just
one of
gotta
them.
win. If you gotta win this week, you
That's what I'm
hope.
saying. If he wins out, you never know what will happen.
And Zach's
Oh,
team is
he plays me
throwing.
this week. That's a free win.
He does. He does. Yeah.
That's a
Well,
free
we
win.
said that last
You're
week
lucky,
about
Fake
him
Rat.
versus Anth. It's not a free win if your team only scores 104 points. You're putting yourself at risk. This would have been a free win against Anth if his team just did anywhere near a decent amount of a score. I mean, Anth only scored 106, but overall, rough. Big win for Anth. He was very happy as he joined the party late on Sunday or Monday night to brag to Rat, and overall just no words when CD dropped that pass from Rat. Rat, can we get some thoughts here after this tough, heartbreaking loss to Anth?
There was one word, golfer.
Is this your most heartbreaking loss in your fantasy career?
There
I
was
don't
one
want to
word
get
he
this
said.
channel banned. I can't say the word.
Wow. Okay.
Rat, it can't be as heartbreaking as my loss 2 years ago in the
Um,
semifinals when Mike Evans
actually,
needed
I
one
don't know
yard.
if it,
That's what I compared it to earlier
I
today.
don't
It
know if
cannot be worse
worse
than that, and
this week
I would
or
have wiped in the final.
I don't
this
know. They were
week
both
or
wide open. At least CD got the ball thrown to him. He
this
just.
week or
Yeah,
two
but
2 weeks ago. Because yeah,
Mm,
Brock Bowers highest tight end game ever in the history of tight ends.
yeah, but that's just a guy popping off who
Or
has potential to pop off.
yeah,
yeah,
but I
yeah. I
can't
mean
say the
that
word that I want to say, so
look,
I'm just
Rat.
gonna
At
say
least
GG's.
you have a ring. You got a ring. You have a
I have a
championship
ring.
under your belt.
Yeah, you
GG's.
have a ring. There's see,
It
you
would
got to look
hurt
at
a
the
A
lot
bright
ring that
side.
you
more.
don't
It would
show
hurt.
off.
It would hurt a lot
Must be a
more
stupid ring.
if
That is true. You don't shit talk it at all, but
it
uh,
would hurt a lot more if you didn't have a ring. But
I don't
look,
talk about
my
it because I know I can come back next year and try again.
hmm,
Because
yeah.
okay.
Ah,
Look, when
there's only
I
one person getting a
hey
ring this year, and I'll
Will you be
guarantee it isn't
drafting
Zach.
when
CD Lamb next year?
I just can't blame him. I have to blame Smith too, but
You're Eagle boy. Okay.
I
Actually,
and
you
AJ
gotta
Brown.
blame the real culprit is AJ Brown
I mean,
because he
on
bitched.
paper, I thought
He
my team has looked good, but I guess
poor
it just
fantasy
doesn't.
management this year from Fake Rat. I'm
It
calling
just
it now.
oh,
doesn't go together.
all
It
right.
doesn't glue.
Poor fantasy management.
Yeah.
Why? What makes you say that, Rat or Zach?
What? It won't.
What did he do wrong with this team?
All the moves he's made this year, they weren't great moves.
Okay. All right.
Um. Yeah, and it was too unfortunate that Stroud didn't get hurt early in the year, to where Nico
Wow.
would actually be better.
Okay.
Cause yeah, but yeah, I can't call C.D. Lamb and Devontae Smith that word. So we're just gonna keep it clean and say GG's.
Smith has
Uh,
been carrying you all year. You can't say that about him.
Yeah, but he let him
I
down in the biggest moment. I mean, he's got
AJ
to get
Brown.
more than 1.8. It's Devontae Smith. He's got to get a couple catches at least.
Look, I think next year Rat should avoid drafting his Eagles so he can't get mad at
I
them.
agree. I agree.
No, my Eagles
And
will be
stop
good.
drafting Cowboys, your arch rival. Jesus
Next
Christ.
year I might draft a Giant for the first time. I
Wow,
might actually get to
congratulations.
draft a
Jeez, we
player from
wonder
my
what
team.
giant that will be. There's
I'll
about
be
three.
back.
I've never once had a team player on my team from my team.
Well,
I
Rat, you're
might.
saying you're going to be back, but like I've already pointed out, your season is not over yet. You are
It
not
is. I know it. Yeah.
eliminated. You could
It's
win out
over.
and have a chance to get in. So yeah, I know you're saying it's over and you'll be back, but you could be back next week if you win. So
It's over.
okay. All right. Well, overall, tough, heartbreaking. That picture of CD dropping that ball. You hate to see Pickens, wide receiver, one of the Cowboys. All right. So looking here at the standings, as we said, Slap's still on top. The Scottish fuck is still on top at 8-3 by default of everybody else losing. But when it comes down to the bye, some of these 7-4 teams might be regretting that they lost this past week because they missed an opportunity to jump them. Zombie at 7-4 in second, Zach at 7-4, and Cheese at 7-4. Then we have the 6-5 teams, all three of them holding strong in those final three playoff spots. As Cheese puts the picture in, thank you. Good timing for that. 6-5, Pusa in the fifth spot on points for. Anth 6-5, and then Tyler at 6-5 in that final spot. Looking at points for wise, Tyler holding strong
I
at
have a
1,000.
new
Huh?
team picture. Sorry to cut you off. I have a new team picture.
Is the CD dropping the ball? Better be. What, would you update it?
Yeah, I did. I close your sleeper.
Oh, I gotta refresh. I'm on the
Anyways,
fucking website. Oh,
Tyler at 1,319 points for. So looking when you compare that to Bill, who is a game behind him at 5-6 in the 8th spot, he does have a pretty sizable lead still on Tyler by about 70-ish points. So Bill's still got a lot of work to do. He's got to keep getting wins, keep scoring a high amount of points, and hope that Tyler stumbles a couple times.
I think Tyler's gonna lose out, honestly.
You think he's going to be out, really? I mean, he's still in a
I think
strong
he's.
spot. He's a game ahead and 70 some points ahead.
Here's what I
So,
think. I think Tyler wins one more game max, and it's gonna come
okay.
down to points for.
Wait, say that again?
Tyler's gonna get to 7 wins, and then it's gonna come down to points.
Okay, so, all right. Well, I
I don't
mean,
know. I don't.
Bill still has a chance to win out and go 8 wins, which would just jump Tyler if he only wins one. So,
Yeah, I think Tyler is definitely out at this point. I don't know. Anything can
and
happen.
I mean, you
then
can't say he's out.
I
if
think he's gonna
you
be out. That's the guy who picked to fall out at this point.
okay,
Mm.
if you look at Anth and Pusa, they are in a much stronger position now after those wins this week, as Pusa has 1,423 points. So it's really hard to see him or not making it if he just gets one more win. He would have to lose out the rest of the season to be out, I would think. Anth is kind of the same position, 1,360, so pretty high points for. He would kind of need to lose out. If he only wins one, that's probably still good enough, unless he just doesn't score points at all, or other teams score a lot. And then looking at the 4 and 7s, Pook at 1,265, then myself at 1,262. So we do have more than Bill, so we could jump Bill if he loses and we win. However, comparing to Tyler, we're about 50, about 60 points behind him, so not like out of the range. That is still possible to gain in the next couple weeks, but we have to keep winning. We have to obviously win out. If the thing with us at 4 and 7, we don't have any wiggle room. We lose another game and we're almost surely eliminated. And then looking at Rat, he kind of is in the same boat. However, he needs to start scoring. He cannot have weeks like he just had this past week because he does have about 50 less points than me and Pook, which just puts him even in a bigger hole compared to Tyler. And then Ernie at 2 and 9. I guess the only glimmer of hope from Ernie is he does have a higher points for than Rat. So if he could somehow win out and Rat lose 2 or 3,
Oh, to be fair, he's a higher points for than everybody down there.
well, barely by about 10 points between
Yeah.
me and Pook. But if he wins out, and one of us 4 and 7s lose 2 or 3, then I guess it becomes interesting based off the points for. But the 2 game gap and seeing Ernie have to win 2 or 3 or win all 3, I just don't see that happening.
Ernie's cooked his
So
last,
yeah,
unfortunately.
I kind of think that might be the case, but we'll see.
Ernie's only hope would be if he had like
He does play Pusa this week
way
as well, which
if
isn't
he had
great.
if he had way more points for than some of the other teams, that he can maybe get on a tiebreaker. But I think he's
Yeah,
cooked the
I mean he
rest.
does. He's ahead of all the
But
4
yeah,
and
like not
7s,
like
but
it's not like a
not by a
huge.
lot.
Even Bill.
Yeah,
But technically, Bill could.
I mean,
Yeah,
if we look
but
at if we
Anybody's
look at
still.
Ernie's schedule, he's playing Pusa, he's playing
He
Zach.
does
So he's
play
playing
again,
me.
you
bye
have to
week
believe in
Zach.
Ernie's team starting to get wins, which he's on an 8 game losing streak. I don't see that happening where
And
he
then he has
wins the
Drake
next
May
game.
on a bye the last week too.
Yeah.
So
All right, so that's the standings. Looking here at we did have the trade deadline coming past this past week. So just to go over a few, we won't spend too much time on this, but a few of the moves that were made near the deadline. There was a couple big ones, as we already talked about. Cheese and Cronky made a trade. Addison leaving Cheese's team, going to Cronky, which he then ends up trading to Rat. And
I would
Cheese
still do
gets
that
Ricky
trade.
Pearsall. You would still do that trade right now at the moment, huh?
Yes, because
Okay.
Kittle. Everybody look at Kittle scoring 25 points this week.
Yeah.
Kittle bageled his first week back. The Niners take
Okay.
time.
Okay.
And
Fair enough.
also, Addison got bailed by that touchdown. Outside that touchdown, it was J.J. McCarthy throwing the balls 20 feet over people's head. It was so
That is
bad.
true. Yep.
I wanted to kill myself watching that game.
Okay.
It was atrocious. He's like his upside is severely capped.
All right.
Like he might get like a okay floor, but he's never going to get that giant game.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I'd still do that.
Fair enough. And then we saw what our first ever four-way, or not first ever, but our second ever four-way between me, Cronky, Rat, and Zach. This was a pretty big one, as a lot of
Great
decent
four-way.
decent players being moved back and forth. We saw myself picking up Romeo Dobbs, Jalen Warren, as I needed a running back for the upcoming weeks, and Trey Benson, another running back, giving up on Shaheed. Marvin Harrison, who was hurt, needed a guy that's going to start, even though he was doing pretty decent for me before this random injury. Vidal and David Neal. Rat gets Addison, as I said, and Neal gives up Dobbs and Bill. Not that huge of a loss for Rat, but you could argue not that huge of a gain either with Addison not looking too great. Zach picks up
Did better than
Pacheco.
Dobbs.
Huh?
Did better than Dobbs, sadly.
Barely. I mean, Dobbs
Yeah,
had
so
9
it
and
doesn't make
Addison
a
had 10.
difference.
So that's why I said it's all a bunch of nothing for me, really. Zach gets Pacheco, Marvin Harrison, who he's banking. Well, he was banking on him coming back and being a playoff type of
They are
performer
not even
for him.
on my team
I
anymore,
know.
buddy.
That's why I said you at the moment you were saying that. And then Vidal. And then Kroenke gets Rashid Shaheed, Xavier Worthy, and Bill, and give up Pacheco and Addison. Overall, I think pretty fair four-way trade. I wouldn't really say there's one clear winner in that trade. Everybody ended up using these pieces in some other trades as well, which we saw here in the next big trade with Zach and Kroenke. They made a blockbuster right before the deadline. Zach gets Joe Flacco, Joe Burrow, who looks like he's coming back sooner rather than later, Jerry Jeudy, and Justin Jefferson, and Chase Brown. So some big names there. And gives up Lamar Jackson, so he no longer has his king of the Jackson 5, Pacheco, Marvin Harrison, his boy Lad, and Vidal. So overall, picks up Jefferson to go with Chase. He also had Stafford, so at quarterback he could downgrade slightly, even though he gets Burrow and Flacco to go with Chase, but also has Stafford on his bench.
Burrow's coming back too, so that's a big, big
Yeah,
plus. I was not expecting that trade.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see when he comes back. From Kroenke's side, I think he's playing a little bit more of the longer game with Harrison and Lad McConkey, but does give up Jefferson and Chase Brown, who are pretty decent players. Um, Overall, I know Kroenke really likes this trade for himself. He was boasting about how he raped Zach. Looking at what Lamar did this past week, though, kind of evens it out.
Yep.
Although I'm not a big believer in Jefferson like Zach is, so just because of the quarterback. Chase Brown,
I
though, is
think both
a
lost the
decent
trade.
player. You think they both lost the trade? Okay,
Yes.
that's interesting. Why?
I think Poose all year claimed that he needed a running back too, and then he
Yes,
just went
and
right
trades
back
away.
to that position.
I agree with that.
And Zach also had a big call from Chase, and he needed depth at wide receiver, and he just threw away his wide receivers in depth to go get Jefferson.
Okay, I agree with
I
that.
kind of agree with Rat because like
I
I don't
got Chase
believe
I don't
Brown
think.
out of
I
that.
think I
Here's
get
what-
that, but I think both you team wise before. I like Poose's team before this trade, and I liked your team before this trade.
I'm kind
I
of
don't know if
agreeing
that
with
makes
Rat.
sense,
Joe
but
Burrow,
way
Justin
your-
Jefferson, and Chase
the
Brown,
way your team
they
was
will
built, you didn't need.
outscore Lamar, McConkey, and Harrison.
I will say, but I'm just saying the way your team was built, I don't think you needed to get rid of your.
I do
And the
think
way
Zach looks at the big names and gets starstruck by the names.
I just think you threw away two flexes to go get a guy that you're high on. You obviously got Chase Brown, and that's the thing with Pusa. I think he threw away Chase Brown when now he doesn't have a running back too.
I would
So
have
he's
been
gonna.
starting shit as running back.
Well, now
And
Pusa's
Pacheco
also
and
gonna have.
Vidal, they're trash.
But you had Jonathan Taylor, who is two running
Yeah,
backs.
but now I have Jonathan Taylor, Chase Brown,
Yeah, but
Jamar Chase,
now
and
you're starting.
Justin Jefferson.
Now you're starting Matt Collins. You're starting Isaiah Hodgins, Nick Chubb at flex, Darius Slayton.
I have a true Jackson 5.
I
and
just
then
think
I
from the
just
way you
need a
both your teams
couple
were
of
built,
But
Look,
you
just
don't
get
have
him
a
on
Jackson
points.
5 because you don't
Okay,
have
here-
Lamar Jackson.
That's
You have
all
a
I'm trying
decent
to
Here's
say.
my
quarterback,
issue
but
with this
not
trade.
Lamar.
Justin Jefferson
Mhm.
is could be worse than Lad. Like the
Yeah.
rest
No
of the
shot.
year.
Yeah,
No
I
shot.
would agree with that.
Like I'm not saying it's will, but that's a possibility that could happen.
We need
Jefferson
to.
is getting cucked this year, so I
When
don't.
we
if
say
this
the
was-
word Justin Jefferson, it's not the Justin Jefferson of
if
previous
this was
years.
last year, Jefferson,
Okay, buddy, relax. Like
I like
that.
it
Like
more
I
for
said
Zach.
earlier, they just need some time to gel.
The way
How much
Pusa's team
time?
was
We're in
built,
week 11.
They
the way
need 2 more
Pusa's
weeks.
team was
That's
built
that's
too.
when I start.
okay.
to
I
He
mean,
doesn't
I
have a
also
running
think
back
like
two
Joe
anymore.
Burke will come back and like Zach's taking a lot of risks here.
So
Give him 2 more weeks.
Unnecessarily.
If he doesn't score 25 points in the next 2
it
weeks, I'll
doesn't
come
sound
back
like it
and
makes
say,
sense, but I
"I'm
just
wrong."
don't like it from previous standpoint of what both teams looked like before. Because
Okay.
Pusa,
Well,
all
it doesn't
Pusa
matter
complained
what
about
you've
was
done in
not
the
having
past games.
RB2 all
All
year.
that matters is week 14 through 17.
We'll see.
I don't know.
That's
We'll
when
have to
it
see how it
all
plays
matters.
out. We'll have to see how it plays out.
All right, so Zach is aiming his sights to the playoffs, thinking these guys are going to perform big in the playoffs. We'll see if that
We'll
happens.
see.
But Kroenke likes it because I guess, thinks he got the much better end because that's what his comments were these whole past couple days, and that's what his trade analysis.
Yeah, and then Lamar
said.
goes out there and scores
Yeah,
like what, 4? Come
yeah.
on, come on.
And Harrison is also out again this week. I think Kroenke thought he'd be back sooner than later, so we'll see. And then there was one other meaningless trade that Anth and Slaps made. Keon Coleman for Josh Downs. I guess Anth tried to pick up a receiver that he could play this week, and then the guy ends up not even playing. So that didn't work well for them. So interesting trade deadline. There was a lot of good trade parties this past week for the deadline. Very entertaining stuff, and we got some big deals done. So overall, good season of trades. Obviously, there was a few AIDS weeks with some voting, but as a league overall, I think the trading this year was pretty
Next
decent.
year, I am going back to my previous strategy of being the stingiest trader ever.
Mm,
Didn't work
Relax,
for me.
jeez.
all right. Well,
I'm going back to that.
okay. Well, I'm glad I got Josh Allen when I did this year then. All right.
I mean, we'll see what happens.
All right, and then waivers real quickly. Obviously, they keep drying up each week. Slaps got Yoshi Voss, dropped DeMercado, uh, bid 15 on him, which I guess at this point, what does Fab really matter? He also picks up Chris Brooks, the third string running back. Well, could be second string this week if Jacobs is out. Pook gets Darnell Mooney for Pat Fryermuth, and
I have a
Cronky
comment too
makes
since
his
I'm
kicker.
here
Okay, go ahead.
about the trade deadline.
Yes.
So, Pook in the chat was bitching at me because I couldn't beat Anth.
Uh-huh.
But you are 4-7 because you wanted to trade your backups for starters. So that is your fault, Pook. Your season's
Yeah.
over with me. Your team sucks.
Oh,
And yeah,
okay.
it's your
Sure.
fault that you lost.
All right.
Trying to
I do
get
always find it a little ironic from Pook, especially this past couple days ago or whatever, when he was putting his own trades in that he didn't accept, and like I guess he was just like regretting that he didn't do them. I don't understand what the point of that was showing those, but I did find it a little funny how he's like pointing those out. It's like, yeah, because your own self wasn't willing to do the trades and you were
the
so
worst
stingy.
trade person this year.
I
Shout out,
I
Pook.
agree. I agree with
Not
you.
even
My
close
my
to.
negotiations with Pook this year have been nothing
I would
Low.
I
but
would rather
horrible.
not get an answer from Tyler for 5 weeks than trade with fucking
Facts,
Pook.
facts,
Yep.
facts.
That was terrible this year, Pook. You are a
I
terrible
mean,
trader. Change your fucking.
Pook in the past has always been very hard to get a trade done with, but at least in the past I would get some type of negotiation or
Yeah,
offer. This year it was like I'd send something, not get anything, then I would message him saying, "So you're not interested in anything?" And then he'd put some snarky comment in the chat of,
Yep.
if I wanted to counter, if I wanted your players, you wouldn't do the top players and I don't want any of your
and you're
bottom
That's
four and
players."
that's
seven, Pook. So
bad
Yeah.
don't act
fantasy
like you're a
management by
hotshot.
Pook. He
Yeah.
is not a good fantasy manager anymore, or else he would
Hmm.
trust himself to do some deals, I guess. He just
I
doesn't
mean,
trust
he did a
himself.
couple, but they were very
So
far
shout
and
out to
few between.
Pook for being the worst trader this year.
Yeah, I would agree.
So,
I'd give him that
Ernie,
award. Well,
No, it's
Ernie,
not even Ernie.
no, Ernie
I
didn't
would
even
rather.
do trades. So,
I would rather
Ernie made
not
trades.
get
yeah,
answers either from Ernie than do
I
that
mean, with
fucking.
Poog, a lot of
I
half the
mean,
fucking offers
you
is
can't give
me.
Tyler too much shit because he came right out from the start and said he doesn't look at trade DM questions and he's not really looking to trade because he's not giving much effort. So at least he told you right out in the beginning not to waste your time with him. These other people
Flip
like Pook
side.
every
We
week would
gave
say
him a
his
year
office
off.
is
We
open
gave
and then
That's
it
Tyler a
never
why
year
be.
off. He
I just
better be
wanted to
back
say
next
that.
year.
I just wanted to say that because Pook's blaming me for his hole, but it's truly your fault. So if you want to be in like the Ernie hole, it's also your fault that your season's gone the way it is
Mm,
because you're a
So
stingy
I'm
little
looking at
fuck.
all of my offers with Pook, and 99% of
That's
them are
all I had
him
to say.
are me sending offers to getting rejected, and then he sends an offer with Christian McCaffrey. So
mm. Well, I mean that's better than
every
what I
single
got. I got no
every single
counter
counter was just
offers.
Christian McCaffrey.
All golfer won it was Kareem Hunt, but
Yeah.
apparently we were
Yeah,
treating
that's
him.
ridiculous. I don't know why we're treating Kareem Hunt like he's a god.
I mean,
So
I looked at his team and I tried to go for the lowest possible thing I could find on his team, thinking that I could at least get a counter and price on that. And I couldn't
um,
even get a price on Kareem Hunt. All I got in the chat was a snarky, why would I trade Kareem Hunt for that shit player on your team? Everyone I want on your team, you're not going to give me. Okay.
so
Well,
some of these teams want to call me out. I'm going to call them out.
all
Your
right.
season's the
I
way
like
it
it,
is
Rat.
because it's your fault too.
Okay.
Go
Strong
away,
comments
Pook.
from Rat. All right, and then looking at the player prop for this past week, real quickly,
We
rough
all
week.
suck.
I did think
Bad for
we
me.
maybe had a chance with Ernie not giving his prop since he's been the one
Mhm.
costing us most weeks, but it was not to be the case. We had a couple hooks. Judy was one reception short. Josh Jacobs got hurt, so that was unlucky. CMC was
CJ
one
Lamb was a
reception
drop.
short. My Devontae Smith play, yikes! I don't know what I was thinking. He was going to have a good game against the Lions. Silly me. It was I should have knew AJ Brown bitching up a storm was going to take away all his passes. And then obviously CeeDee Lamb not only fucked this prop but fucked my other bet as well. So
And fucked my season.
and fucked your season, yeah, all the above. But shout out to Cronky, 10-1 on the year, very good. Keep it up, Cronky. Hopefully we can, one of these weeks here down the stretch, come up with something. Ernie, if you're watch this, please fucking send me your prop this week. You were the one that fucking proposed this, and yet I can't get a prop from you.
At
That's
least you're
kind of
winning something
ridiculous.
this year, Gronky.
That is true. All
I will
right.
be voting against this next year.
Yes, I think I will be too because the last few weeks it has become more of a hassle for me to
I think there's a way to fix it. That's all
trackle
I'm gonna
down
say.
everybody's
Well, Brett,
plays, and
you
then
can
early
propose
morning I
that,
have
and
to
we will
place
vote
it.
on it.
What's that?
Brett says
I
he's
think
going
that
to
will be
fix
a way
it.
to fix it.
Well, we'll see what the fix proposals are, but I I don't know. I need something where either everybody goes out of their way to give the play by a certain time on Saturday, or because I'm tired of DMing people late Saturday night and then I don't get a response, so then I have to wait till Sunday morning, and I'm busy Sunday morning, so it's like trying to track them down. I'm getting tired of doing that, but we'll see. We'll go again this week, and maybe we can hit one to make money. Looking then ahead to week number 12, as I said, rematch week starts this week officially, as the people you played, I believe, in week 1 are the people you are
Yes.
playing now this week. So some revenge games. Sleeper last year did a cool thing where they showed you what the previous score was from the week 1,
I
but
got it up. I got
doesn't
it up.
look like they have that on here. But anyways, looking at the first matchup between me and Slaps. Another big matchup here for me this week to try to just keep fighting and give myself a glimmer of hope. Um, it's going to be tough against the top team in the league, but Slaps does have a few lineup issues this week to give me a chance to.
Slaps beat you first
Yes.
time this year.
Yep, I do
Yikes.
remember that to start my year off. Sleeper does give me a slight chance, 115 to 114, pretty close, but got a fighting chance. Obviously, tomorrow night will be a big start for me. Josh Allen, my boy Joshy Poo against Houston. Tough defense in Houston, but Josh Allen has to play good if the Bills are going to win games, it seems like, because the rest of their team, their defense is pretty trash. So he has to perform if they're going to win games, as we saw this past week. So hopefully he can put up another big game to get me started tomorrow night. At the moment, Tajay Spears in there against Seattle. I don't love that, and they did open the practice window for Trey Benson, and DeMarcado is out. So if he is good to go, he will be in there instead of Spears, which I'm hoping that's the case. Jalen Warren against Chicago. We'll see what his injury status is. He didn't practice today, but Mike Tomlin said he was optimistic for him this week, so hopefully he's good to go. I need him. Brian Thomas Jr. It would sure be nice if he came back and played this week, and actually played well. That would be a big boost to my team. We'll see. Zay Flowers against the Jets, decent matchup there. Hoping for Lamar to have a better game through the air against the shitty Jets. They're not the Browns. Colston Loveland against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's defense not the best against tight ends, so hopefully he can have a good game. Pickens, my boy, against the Eagles. Tough matchup, but sometimes Dallas plays halfway decent against the Eagles, so we'll see what Dallas can do and my boy Pickens after his huge game. Romeo Dobbs against Minnesota. He is a little banged up with a wrist injury, but did limited practice. Hopefully he'll be good to go. And then Bucker against the Colts. On Slaps' side, Jalen Hurts against Dallas. That's a very good matchup for Hurts. Expect a decent game against Dallas's defense. Josh Jacobs, as we said, it does have that injury concern. Did not practice today, remains day to day. Hopefully they sit him a week. I mean, God forbid, he just had a pretty bad looking injury. Just sit him 1 week. What is the rush
I agree.
currently?
I agree.
Yep. Kyron Williams against Tampa Bay on Sunday night. That could be a type of sneaky shootout game, so that's not great. He also has Adams as well on Sunday night, so those are pretty good matchups there that I have to fade somehow. Hopefully, it's a Puka game. Jawan Jennings against Carolina on Monday night, so he does have a Monday night player. Theo Johnson against Detroit. Josh Downs against Kansas City. Not too concerned about that. And Yoshi Voss against New England. So his flexes are a little bit of a question mark. He also doesn't really have a running back. He'll have to go with Tyler Johnson tomorrow night, so he's going to have to make that decision on Jacobs, unless he goes with either Corum or Brooks if he waits till Sunday to see what happens with Jacobs. So he kind of has to make that call if he's going to play Tyler Johnson tomorrow night. Um, Slaps has some decisions, so I do have a fighting chance in this one. Assuming my players play, I'm going to take myself, but in a close matchup, 125 to 120 something, and hopefully I can get my revenge against Slaps after that week 1 loss to him. Cheese, who's winning?
I will be taking Golfer, I think, in this matchup, just because Slaps has the injury issues and his flex is kind of terrible.
Okay.
Um, I mean, I don't really like Downs is fine, but like I'm crazy then Yoshivas. Is that Yoshivas? Is that how you spell
Yeah.
his name?
Yeah.
An I? Okay. Yoshivas could be something. I don't know. The New England's looked really good this year.
That's not the
Um,
best matchup.
so I think it's a good spot for Golfer to pull out a win here. And looking at week 1, Slaps 116 to 87.
Oh, that was my worst week of the season, 87. I think I've scored 100 almost every week after that.
And Slaps had Trey McBride. Wow.
Well, at least I don't have to face that. All right, Rat, who's winning?
You, and I hope you win.
Oh, thank you. Wow. A positive comment from Rat for once, hoping I win. Wow.
I'm rooting for you and Bill, not Pook, to make the playoffs. If
Wow.
there's the under teams will make it.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, for all the shit Slaps is gonna get exposed. The guy sucks, and I hope he wins.
Wow. Okay.
That's pissing me off.
Zach?
The guy's not even good.
It's always fun seeing a Slaps crash out after he loses, so hopefully we can see that again.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, moving on to the next matchup. We see Cronky taking on Ernie. Ernie with 8 straight losses coming in. We'll see if Cronky can make it 9. This would be kind of embarrassing for Cronky after how highly he was on his high horse these last couple days, and then he said today that he has a bye week this week. So he's basically already saying he won this week. That's always dangerous, being that high on your horse. Fantasy has a way of humbling you. I sure hope that doesn't happen this week for Cronky. 6-5. This would be the win that he could get to basically secure his playoff spot at 7 wins with the points for that he has being so high. So good spot for him. Sleeper likes him to do it. 133 to 125. Pusa has Lamar Jackson against the Jets. Pretty good matchup there for a bounce back game from Lamar, assuming he's healthy and good to go. Pacheco, who is back healthy now against the Colts. Tougher defense, but at least he's back for him as an RB2. Bijan Robinson against the Saints. Pretty good matchup there after his big game last week. JSN against Tennessee. Also a very good matchup. Should be a good game from him. Jameson Williams after his big game now against the Giants. Pretty good matchup there to have a nice game. Trey McBride against Jacksonville. It's McBride. He'll get his points. Xavier Worthy in there against the Colts. And Rashid Shaheed against Tennessee. Interesting play there. Does he have someone on bye? Lad McConkey on bye. That's why. So some decent matchups there. And then Santos against Pittsburgh. On Ernie's side, Drake May against Cincinnati. Pretty good matchup there for Drake May to have a nice game against that Cincy defense who gives up points for fun. Judkins against the Raiders. Also, as we talked about with Judkins, he either has a huge week or a bad week. So this could be a potential big week for Judkins against the shit Raiders. Barkley against Dallas is also pretty good. A.J. Brown against Dallas. You never know what you're going to get with A.J. Brown, but it's Dallas, and their defense gives up points. Higgins against New England. And then he does have a Thursday night player tomorrow with Schultz against Buffalo. Kyle Pitts, who's going with the two tight ends against New Orleans. Good matchup there for Pitts. And Montgomery against the Giants and Aubrey against Philly. Like I said with Ernie's team, on paper, it doesn't look that bad. His matchups look halfway decent. I would not be calling this just a bye week if I was Cronky. I think this has potential to be a close matchup. Could be decently high scoring as they both have some pretty great matchups. I would love to take Ernie on an upset just to shut Cronky up a little and send him down a couple notches. So I don't want Ernie to win because that just keeps the last place thing out there. So I'm gonna say Cronky wins and sends Ernie to 2-10. But I would not be surprised at all if Ernie somehow pulled this out, and I would not be calling this a bye week because fantasy gods could give karma to Pusa for his shit talk. The lineup on Ernie's side is not as bad as the record shows. Cheese, who's winning this matchup?
Ernie won in week 1 over Pusa, one of his 2 wins.
Wow, so Ernie could go for the sweep against
And
Pusa,
Ernie...
which is also big because if Ernie does get last place, reminder, if Ernie gets last place and does the $200 buyout, if Cronky lost to him both times, he would not get any of that $200 winnings. It's only the people that beat Ernie that get that money.
I like Pusa's team.
Yep.
I think it's very solid. I just think Ernie's team has to score points sometime.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Coming off a bad week.
I think that Dallas Eagles game is going to be high scoring. The Eagles have not done a lot lately. They're going to be pissed. Dak's going to be slinging it.
Okay.
T. Higgins is going to go off. Monty versus Giants is a great matchup.
Yep.
I'm not really a believer in Worthy or Shaheed.
Yeah.
Um,
So you think Ernie could have the advantage in the flex spots?
So I think Ernie will pull out the win.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm rooting for Pusa to lose, but that's separate. But
I
separate. In
think
general, I
everybody
do think Ernie has the better matchups this week.
Okay.
And I hate like half of Pusa's team.
Wow.
So
Okay, so you are picking Ernie. I
yes.
wanted to, but I just can't get there. But Cheese does. All right. Rat.
So I'm with Golfer. I hope Ernie loses because the last place fight. I'm picking. Fuck. Yeah, Pusa called this matchup a bye, and
Yeah, he did, which
hard
I was
to tell.
surprised he said that.
Cronky's been talking a lot of shit, so I'm gonna pick Ernie, and I hope Bijan gets hurt on Sunday at 4:25,
Man.
and ends Cronky season.
Man, not only did we pick Ernie to send Cronky down a notch, but you're also rooting for injuries on Cronky's team. Wow.
Mhm.
Hey, people would not be upset if that happened.
All right, yeah. No, I told Cronky, I said, everybody is going to be rooting against you for obvious reasons, our bets. All right, Zach, who's winning this matchup?
This is an Ernie week.
Ooh,
You
all
can't
right.
you can't lose them all.
You can't lose them all. He's lost 8 straight. He can't lose 9 straight. Surely not. All right. Let's see. All right, moving on to the next matchup. We have Rat versus Zach. So after that heartbreaking loss from Rat last week at 4-7, taking on Zach at 7-4. So big matchup here for Rat to keep his season alive. Meanwhile, Zach doesn't really want to keep losing games to get down to like 7-5, 7-6. Then it gets maybe a little shaky, but we'll see. Zach's already kind of giving up on this week, so. But the funny thing is, Rat's also giving up. So it's a battle of two teams that are like giving up on their week. So we'll see who wins.
GG.
Sleeper does like Rat, 124 to 118. Rat has Baker Mayfield on Sunday night against the Rams. Decent matchup there. Rico Dowdle on Monday night, so he's got a Monday night player as well against the 49ers.
Here we go again.
Might come down to Monday night. Genty against Cleveland. Tougher defense by Cleveland, but we'll see if Genty can get a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb against the Eagles. God only knows what will happen with CeeDee. Nico Collins on Thursday night to get him started, so we'll see. Have they confirmed that Stroud ain't starting again this week?
Stroud is out.
All right, so that's good for you. Tomorrow night against Buffalo has been giving up a lot of points, so this could be a big Collins game to get you started tomorrow. K. Dotton on Sunday night against the Rams as well. Good old 1 point Devontae Smith last week. Surely he gets a bounce back game against Dallas. No way he gets one again against that shitty Cowboys defense. Jordan Addison against Green Bay, and Will Reichert against Green Bay. On Zach's side, Stafford in there against Tampa. Is that still up for debate, Zach? If Joe Burrow's healthy?
It is up for debate, yes.
Okay. Jonathan Taylor back in there coming off his bye. Does have to face Kansas City, but surely Taylor coming back off bye now, rested, ready to go. Chase Brown against New England. Justin Jefferson against Green Bay. At Green Bay as well. Tougher matchup at Green Bay. Jerry Jeudy against the Raiders. If Judy's ever going to have a decent week, it'd be this week against the shit Raiders. Mark Andrews against the Jets. Decent matchup there. Mac Hollins against Cincinnati. Kind of like that spot for Hollins based on how he's been playing lately and how they're using him. And then Isaiah Hodges against Detroit. Interesting start there. Obviously, no Jamar Chase this week, so that's a big break for Rat. But that suspension for spitting. Yikes. I'm going to take Rat just because Jamar Chase was a bonehead and spit and got suspended. I think that's cost
AI.
Zach. I think that cost Zach this week. So I'm going to take Rat. Cheese?
Yeah, Zach is definitely playing for the playoffs. I think. I mean, his this week running backs are solid, very solid. I like Stafford a lot on prime time. I just don't love Jefferson. I hate Judy. Andrews boomer bust. Matt
Wow.
Collins is definitely gonna tank with Booty back.
Wow.
I don't mind Hodgins, to be honest. He's all right. I think just Rad's
Shadur's gonna
team.
feed Judy.
I mean, I do like that their QBs go against each other on prime time,
Mm-hmm.
so that's
But he
fun.
could start
Maybe not if
Burrow.
Burrow plays.
I
I
wouldn't
th-
start Burrow. I would not
yeah,
start
I
Burrow on
wouldn't.
his
With
first
no
game back
Chase, I probably wouldn't either.
against New England.
Yeah.
It's not. I would
I think
not start
Stafford
him.
against that
Trying to
that
bait you, Zach.
Rams
I'm
that
trying to
Rams
bait you.
Tampa game could be a shootout.
Look, I think. I mean, I just think Zach's team. If Chase was healthy, I would pick him. Like if not healthy, if he wasn't spitting.
Yeah.
But I think with the spit and being
He
forced to
didn't spit.
play,
AI.
Mac Hollins, is just going to tank it. And I think Rat will get a much needed win.
Okay. All right. Zach, I know you've said that this lineup is an easy win for your opponent, so you're not taking yourself, I take it?
If I win this week, he's just gonna have to have a complete collapse, maybe like a 70-point week from him, and then sure, I can win.
All right. So he need a week like Rat had last week where he didn't score that many points, and then on Monday night maybe Rico Dowdle drops a catch or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Could happen again. I'm sure Rat's not hoping so, but all right. Rat, are you gonna bounce back or just? I know you mailed it all in this season.
I'm having early, what's the word? Like flashbacks? What's that word?
PTSD.
PSTD. I don't see Jerry
PTSD.
Judy, Mac Hollins, Isaiah Hodgins. I see Tyler Lockett.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to come down to Monday night. And yeah,
All right.
we don't have those go for me.
Okay. You sound very optimistic. All right.
Yeah, I hope we tie.
Oh, all right, a tie. That would be a good result for Zach, actually, a tie. All right, moving
A
on
tie would
then.
be nice.
Yeah, moving on to the next matchup. We have one of the bigger ones of this week. The battle of 6 and 5 teams, Anth versus Tyler. The winner of this, I would say, with the points for, definitely locks, I think, their playoff spot up. The loser of this, then it gets a little tricky with Bill if he wins and the other teams behind them. So you definitely want to try to win this week if you're one of these two teams to set yourself up for the playoffs. Tyler right now projected to win slightly, 127 to 122 according to Sleeper. He has Brock Purdy on Monday night against Carolina. He finally gets a halfway decent quarterback starting in there against Carolina. Could be decent. Aaron Jones against Green Bay. Bucky Irving, assuming he comes back, which he did practice limited, so that's a good sign for Tyler as well. Against the Rams on Sunday night, Wandell Robinson against Detroit, Puka Nacua on Sunday night, so he's got a lot of primetime players. Against Tampa, good spot there. Travis Kelce against the Colts, Chris Olave against Atlanta, Dallas Goedert against the Cowboys, and Cam Little against Arizona. On Ant's side, Patrick Mahomes back after his loss to Denver against the Colts. Another decent team, but the Chiefs kind of have to win this game after losing to Denver last week. So big game for Mahomes, potentially. James Cook tomorrow night to get him started. That will be big. He's going to need James Cook to have a nice game. Travis Etienne against Arizona. He had a nice game last week. We'll see what he can do against Arizona. DK Metcalf against the Bears. Michael Pittman against the Chiefs. Jawan Johnson in there against Atlanta. Kamara against Atlanta as well, so he's got two Saints guys in there. And then Kenneth Gainwell against Chicago in there currently. We'll see what the status of Warren is, but even Gainwell had a huge week last week, so you figure even if Warren's a little banged up, if he plays, it's probably maybe going to split a little more, and Gainwell might get some more action. So don't hate that much. And then Boswell against Chicago as well. I think this is going to be a close matchup. I think both these teams are pretty decent. I think it could be, around the 130 to 120 type of score line. I just think with Tyler's team, getting Irving back, getting Purdy in there, kind of fits the rest of the lineup decent. And there's, Jawan Johnson, Kamara, Pittman. I don't know if they're all on a high. DK, not sure how he's going to perform. So unless James Cook goes off for like 30 tomorrow to get him started, I think Tyler is going to pull off a close victory. Cheese? I'm assuming you're going to take the opposite because you said Tyler's going to be the one to miss.
I don't like his matchups this week.
Okay. So
I
you're
think
taking it.
Kelsey. I don't know though, because I really like Ants. I kind of don't like both teams this week.
Okay. Well, you said Tyler's going to miss the playoffs, so if he wins this week, that's probably getting him in the playoffs.
Fuck, Tyler might just get a win because London's hurt.
Yep, that's a big loss for Ant.
Yeah, and Laporta was also playing pretty well.
Yep. So you're
Yeah,
going with
I
Tyler or
think, I
Ant?
think, I think I gotta take Tyler. I don't like him. I think he gets
All
this
right.
win just because of
All right, so you
Ants.
instantly are
But
reversing your prediction
I
from
know I didn't see Ant's team this week. I thought Ant's team was healthier than it was. I mean, Ant can still pull it out. Ant pulled one out last week.
Yep.
But I think Tyler is going to be a little favored.
Okay. All right, Rat.
This would be the greatest tie in fantasy history.
Oh my God!
For a
Please,
tie.
please, 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 please.
Man, a tie that would
I'd be
really
so hyped.
mess up
That
I'd be
would
so
help
things.
hyped.
both teams.
It
Right?
would. It would
Wouldn't
really hurt Bill. It really
Yeah.
hurt Bill's chances if they tied. That would kind of be crazy for our first ever tie, and it's in this type of situation. Would be kind of nuts. All right, Zach.
Tie. You love to hear it. Let's go. I think
Mhm.
we're all rooting for a tie.
All right. All right, moving on then to the next matchup, we have Cheese taking on Pook. There was some comments made earlier in this party before Cheese joined, and we are big Cheese fans this week
Let's
against
go.
Pook.
Just a one-on-one
We
time.
did notice the past few days Pook has been talking a lot more after winning a couple weeks, so I think he's starting to feel a little better about himself. So we would like Cheese to just end Pook's season this week. That would kind of be nice for some of us. Right now, Sleeper projecting him to win 119 to 108. Another battle is 7-4 versus 4-7. Cheese has Bryce Young on Monday night against the 49ers. Really going with him over Caleb Williams against Pittsburgh, huh?
Hold up.
I'm taking the matchup.
You
I'm
no,
taking
no,
the
no.
matchup.
No,
I'm taking
get
the
Caleb
matchup.
Williams back in there right now.
Wow.
No,
I'm taking
no,
the
no,
matchup.
no. Buddy,
Wow.
hold on. Hold on. No,
The
before we go any
49ers
farther,
defense is dog water.
Cheese, do not lose the Pook because you're starting Bryce Young on Monday night, please. You put
He's
Caleb
buying
Williams.
the Kool-Aid of 31
God, there's
points
no
from
shot.
this past week.
I'm gonna watch the Chiefs win.
He's
because of
battling
Chiefs.
an ankle injury.
Oh my god.
Well, if he's an ankle injury, he's not going to be started.
Oh my god.
I mean, he's battling an ankle injury.
Oh my god.
All right, fine.
I
Brad,
mean,
for
you're
now-
either getting the 2 point or 1
Hold on.
point Caleb
Golfer,
Williams.
who
Or
are you starting? Caleb Williams or Bryce Young?
I would definitely start Caleb Williams.
Zach?
It's just a safer floor. But
Your team sucks, buddy.
No, just pick one.
Oh, who?
Caleb or Bryce Young?
I'm not a believer in Bryce Young, even
Who's
when
the
he has
matchup?
She's a starting fucking
Caleb
Bryce
Williams
Young over
plays
Caleb.
Pittsburgh. Bryce Young plays the
And
49ers. Chiefs
who's
says
gonna
the
get bailed
49ers
out?
are a bad defense. They're not that bad, and it
They
is
will have
in
19
San
We're not
Francisco.
bailing out
Cheese
We're-
is a better fantasy manager than Fake Rat, so
Okay.
just do the opposite
Okay.
of what
the
Fake Rat said.
49ers have allowed 19 plus
I can't
QB
believe
points
you're
in like the
letting
last
Poop get a win.
7 games.
All right. Well,
What was
I mean,
the
it
point
is a
of the
Monday
trade
night
if you
player,
traded
so
for
that
He will
also
not let
factors
Poop
in.
get a win. Relax.
Jeez,
traded
you
for-
do what you feel's best for your team.
No, that pisses me off. I did not see a Josh Allen trade just for the guy to sit on the fucking bench.
Lol. That is true.
Oh
That
my
is kind of
God.
crazy. You would trade away
I-
Josh Allen, then instantly bench him after 1 week.
All right, keep
Anyways,
moving, keep moving.
Christian McCaffrey on Monday night as well, so he would have 2 Monday
Oh.
night players
I already
if
had 2 Monday night.
if he goes with Young. DeAndre Swift against Pittsburgh. He is a little banged up, but
Well,
Cheese
I
is
mean,
probably
doesn't
hoping
matter.
that he misses, so then he just has the clear running back because Monagle took the touchdown this past week.
Yes.
Alec Pierce in there off the bye against Kansas City. Ricky Pierce on Monday night. Man, you would have a lot of Monday night
Yeah.
players if you start Bryce Young. Looking for a bounce back game now, week number 2 coming off the injury against Carolina. Ferguson against the Eagles. Woody Marks tomorrow night, so he's got a big player to get him started with Woody Marks. Buffalo has been horrible against stopping the run, so maybe this is a big Woody Marks game
And-
potentially.
Nick Chubb got like 2 carries. He is done.
Okay,
So-
and Jacoby Myers against Arizona looked a little better this past week with 11. We'll see, though, if Brian Thomas comes back, how that affects him. And McLaughlin on Sunday night against the Rams. On Pook's side, Dak Prescott against the Eagles. Obviously, Eagles' defense has been playing pretty solid lately, so maybe not as good of a game from Dak as he had last week where everything was wide open. Brees Hall against Baltimore. Baltimore's defense has been locking down a little more lately. They just held Judkins down, so we'll see what Brees Hall does. Henderson against Cincinnati. Pretty good shot, but we'll have to see what happens with Ramondre, of course. Diggs against Cincinnati as well. Shakir tomorrow night on Thursday night against Houston. Looking for a bounce back. Brock Bowers against Cleveland. Tougher defense. We'll see what happens with frickin' the Raiders. And then Emmanuel Wilson in there. That is one that could be decent if Josh Jacobs is out. So that's a potential boost to Pook's team. And Mooney against the Saints. He's rolling with. And Pinheiro on Monday night. So he does have one Monday night player to combat all of yours.
I mean, Pinheiro is week to week.
Oh, he is? So he's banged up. So
So-
might have to change. Oh, yeah, he might have to change his kicker.
Oh, wait, should I just pick up the fucking... Who's the Carolina kicker? Does anybody have him? I'd be an asshole if he doesn't notice.
All right. Man, I think it's going to be close. And it could just come down to Cheese's fantasy management skills on if he starts the right QB or not. It is kind of tempting to have all those Monday night players, but
It would be fun.
I also do think Caleb Williams is more of a safer floor because Bryce Young could literally get you 2 points and look absolutely horrible on Monday night.
That is true.
But if, maybe you kind of, well, you can't really wait because Caleb Williams played at 1 o'clock. I was going to say maybe you see what happens tomorrow night with Woody
No, I
Marks.
can't.
If you're
I
down
could,
a
yeah.
lot
If
after
I'm down
tomorrow
a million
night,
points, I could go for the...
you go for the higher
ceiling.
floor and Bryce Young,
Yeah.
potentially. Because he does have a
Woody Marks
Thursday night
is-
player as well. But if you're up after tomorrow, then maybe you go
Yeah, I
for
think we'll just see what happens tomorrow.
I'm going to pick you just
Because
because
of-
I hope Pook loses. And that's...
You know what? I'm gonna leave Caleb in for now. I'm gonna see what happens tomorrow.
Okay.
If Shakir busts again and Woody Mark gets like 10, it'll be Caleb.
Okay. All right, Rat, who's winning this matchup?
I want both to lose now because that
So
just
pick your
pissed me off.
tie. Pick your tie.
No, I don't want to tie. I want Chief to win.
Okay.
I want both to lose, but I want Chief to win. This is just. I was in this three-way. You traded Josh Allen for Caleb Williams and Alec Pearson, the guys on your bench this week. This is
Well,
just
he just said he might
No, I
start him.
refresh.
I
He's
just
back in there.
it just
Refresh.
pissed me off that
He's
I
back
mean,
in there.
he's just going off of last week. Last week, Caleb Williams looked
yeah,
bad.
but
Look,
Pook doesn't deserve anything. I hope Pook loses. His team shit. His fantasy management
Wow.
shit. He's worse than Pusa.
Hmm.
Yeah, they
All
both
right.
piss me off. I hope
All
Pook
right.
loses.
Zach,
Suck.
we know what Zach's picking.
Who's playing?
Pook and Cheese. Remember
Oh
what we
boy.
were talking about earlier?
You guys are still talking about that shit?
No, I'm
Just
talking about
pick
you
your
and me
fucking
earlier in the
cheese.
party.
What
You've
are
been
you
Remember?
possibly doing right now?
you've been on
Thank
his
you.
hog for the whole year.
No, Cheese. Me and Zach was saying how Pook's been feeling more confident lately, so we want
Oh
Cheese to
yeah,
win.
yeah. Fuck Pook. Let's go cheese.
All right.
I
Zombie, welcome to the party.
Zombie.
Before we go over this matchup, because I think I know who you're going to take, because you've had Pook stick in your mouth lately. Let's go over the previous
Wow.
What the
one.
fuck? I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah, I'm not wrong. What you've been saying in the party or the chat every day about Pook being back.
Pook
The
is
first
back.
first matchup, myself versus Slaps. Who's winning?
I want Slaps to lose, so
Okay.
you're winning.
Everybody's in that boat. Ernie versus Cronky, who Cronky has called this week a bye week, even though Ernie's lineup doesn't look that bad.
That's gonna come back to bite him.
Okay. Rat versus Zach.
Uh, if Fake Rat loses, is he eliminated?
He most likely
Yep.
is.
yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm already eliminated.
You know what? Let's give Fake Rat one more week of hope.
Wow,
Okay.
Zombie.
Take
You
it away
always do
next
this.
week.
You always pick against me, Zombie.
All
I
right.
will remember this
And then the
next week.
biggest one of this week, Anth versus Tyler. They're both 6 and 5.
Uh, I'll go with Tyler.
Okay.
Pretty well.
And then do you want to make any comments after your bad loss last week to Cronky, where it looked like for a while you were in the driver's seat, and then
Yikes.
Jameson Williams fucked you and your Amon Ra did shit?
Yeah, Dan Campbell is a terrorist.
Okay, that's
That
been
guy
used
is
quite a bit.
fucking. That guy is fucking garbage at play calling. Should give it back.
Okay. You still feeling good about getting the bye? Because you kind of missed an opportunity this week with Slaps losing to jump them.
Yeah, we will beat Slaps week 14.
Oh, okay. Ooh, that could be a big matchup for the bye. All right. And then Cheese versus Pook.
We know.
We
Just
know.
get it out there. Just
Zombie,
put it
who's
out there,
winning?
but
Cheese versus Pook.
This is a big game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with my boy Cheese.
Wow. Okay, so Pook's season's over, huh? So as quickly as you said Pook's back the last couple weeks, it's now over.
his cock came out of the
His
throat. It's halfway through the mouth now.
All I know is Pook will finish higher than Fake Rat.
Ooh.
There it is.
All
Oh,
right.
right back in. Right
All
back in
right,
there.
Sean
Guys,
Connery.
what's worse, the Julian on Trump stick or
Yeah,
Zombie
okay.
on Pooks?
All right, and then moving
Wow.
on to
Whoa, I
the.
get to
Fake Rat
comment on my
invited
own team.
Oh, sorry.
I
Yes.
see
Go
that.
ahead, Cheese. Are you winning
I
against Pook
am.
and ending his season?
I'm ending this season
Oh.
mainly because Pook's gonna get fucked by the terrorist Patriots because he has Diggs and Henderson, but Stevenson and Booty are back,
Mm.
and even though they are clearly worse players, they will
Mhm.
get touches.
Mm.
Um,
Okay.
I also think that Shakir might have a lower game because Houston defense is very good.
Okay.
I don't really buy his flex this week.
Oh, you're not worried
Will
about Emmanuel
Wilson
Wilson? I'd be worried
Wilson
about
could
him.
be decent.
Going to be a starting running back if Jacobs is out.
Isn't the Minnesota running defense kind of decent? Like it's not smash.
Yeah, but they're at
Um,
home.
yeah, Mooney. I don't know about Mooney. I guess with London hurt, it's a decent option. But I don't. And then Brees Hall could get stuffed up by Baltimore, and and Philly's defense good. I have some decent matchups.
All right. So
As
what are
Our
you hoping
defense
to
well.
is
be
getting
up?
cooked.
What are you hoping to be up by after tomorrow night?
I'm not gonna be
I'll
up.
be ready up.
I'll be down,
Okay.
of course,
What do you
because I
mean?
have
You have
Monday Night
Woody
Football.
Marks.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah.
If I'm up by like 5+, I'll feel good.
Really? That low? Okay.
Well, I
Interesting.
mean, it's like two similar quality players, to be honest. Like it's
Hmm.
not, like
Okay.
we're not delusional.
Hold on. What?
What do you mean? What? Shakir and Woody Marks are like similar tiers of player. Like it's not like he's a stud versus you know what I
You
mean?
are fucking. You have the. I don't know. There's more cock in the mouth. You and Woody Marks are fucking
I
puking
mean, I
zombies.
would agree with that. Although, based on Woody Marks' values in this past week of trade discussions, I thought you were going to say he's going to get way more than Shakir.
No, no. I mean, the only encouraging sign is if we look at Zach's Nick Chubb, which still is rostered for some reason.
Zombie ready up.
I mean,
He
he's
Can we
had
move
starting him
on to
tomorrow.
the next
Nick
matchup,
Chubb
please?
had 3 carries and no receptions
Jeez, we're
last week.
I
tired of
hope your
hearing you talk
quarterback
about your
decision
team,
doesn't
buddy.
fuck you.
Let's
That's
move
All
all I'll
right,
on to
let's
the
say.
go
next
to
matchup.
All
Zach.
right, moving on then
You're
to
cooked,
the
Zach. You're gonna
final
lose out.
matchup of this week: Zombie versus Bill. I would call this the, besides Tyler versus Ant, this is the second biggest matchup of the week. As Bill has been on a fighting streak to fight his way into this playoff race, and now he's got to face his probably one of his biggest hurdles left on the schedule in Zombie's team, coming off a loss at 7-4, trying to get that bye. Right now, Sleeper likes Bill to get the win, 129 to 125. Zombie has Jared Goff against the Giants, so he's got to roll with him with Herbert on bye, which honestly, the way Herbert's been playing the last couple weeks, and that's not a bad thing necessarily. So good matchup bounce back for the Lions to bounce back against the shit Giants. Tootin in there against Arizona. Who else do you have on bye? Oh, Chain on bye. So this is a big chance for Bill this week with
Let's
some
go,
big
Bill.
players on bye. Juggernaut Javante against Philly as well. St. Brown against the Giants. So we'll see if he can get the Goff to St. Brown bounce back. I'd worry about that if I'm Bill after a bad last week with Brown and Goff against the Giants this week. Looks like a big bounce back, and they're at home. Rashee Rice against the Colts, also looking for a bounce back after his mediocre week last week. Tyler Warren against the Chiefs, coming off bye. Roma Dunze looking for a bounce back against Pittsburgh. Michael Wilson, who had a monster game last week, this week against Jacksonville. Still no Harrison, so that should be decent. And then Myers against Tennessee. On Bill's side, Jackson Dart against Detroit, so they got both quarterbacks in that Giants versus Detroit matchup. Looking like he'll be back as he practiced limited today. Should clear concussion. Derrick Henry against the Jets, pretty decent matchup there. Gibbs against the Giants, obviously good matchup there. If the Lions run the ball a lot with Gibbs, then maybe that hurts maybe some of Zombie's quarterback and receiver. That's what Bill's got to hope for. McMillan after his monster game, so he does have a Monday night player against the 49ers. Abuka on Sunday night against the Rams. Like that spot there potentially for him, although the Rams defense is playing pretty decent. But Tampa does score points. Henry against Cincinnati. Singletary in there against the Detroit. Man, that Detroit Giants game is a huge one in this matchup. A lot of players. Kittle on Monday night as well, so he's got two big Monday night players, and then Elliott against the Cowboys. Um, Man, it's tough to call. I like some of Bill's players in their spots. Not quite sure about Singletary against Detroit's run defense. Um, But on Zombie side, his flexes are looking pretty solid this week with Odunze and that Wilson. Uh, I would like to see Bill win just to keep running to the playoffs and having a chance. And if he does lose this week, he's not completely out of it, but he really needs to try to win this week since one of those 6-5 teams are guaranteed to lose. But I just think Zombie gets it done. I think Zombie's team is good, even though he doesn't have Odd Chain, which is a big loss. If this was ever going to be the week for Bill to win, it would be this week with some of Zombie's buys. But I still think Zombie finds some way to just pull it out. So I'm going to take Zombie. Um, Cheese, who are you picking?
Taking Bill, taking all the underdogs this week.
All right,
Uh,
pick for Bill.
and fuck Zombie for just picking up Michael Wilson and he gets 1,000,000 points. Hope he tears his ACL.
Shut the
Um,
fuck up, Chief.
Greg Dortch had 18 too.
I hate Toon this week. I don't know why we're thinking Toon is startable if Etienne is
I
playing.
mean, who else? Who else is he going to start? Everybody
Sean
else out.
Tucker.
Oh, he does have Sean Tucker, but Bucky Irving might be back. So
I think Kittle's gonna have a good game. I think Singletary is gonna have a good game. I think Hunter Henry is gonna have a good game. Bill's got some good matchups this week. Derrick
okay.
Henry is gonna run all over the Jets. My boy Jackson Dart is going to get even more CTE and score some more touchdowns.
Okay.
So,
So you're taking Bill. All right.
and I also think the Cowboys are going to have to throw the ball a lot this week, so Javante might have a lower scoring.
Yeah. Okay. Rat.
No, Bill.
Bill. Okay. Wow. All right. Zach.
Zombie.
All right.
Fuck
Zombie.
you. Bill's winning, buddy.
Wow. Wow. 3 picks for Bill. All right. I was the only one to take Zombie. Zombie, are you bouncing back after your loss last week with a win versus Bill to severely hurt his playoff hopes?
Uh, if I beat Bill, is he eliminated?
He's
No,
not
Or
Bill's 5 wins.
eliminated,
He's in
but
a decent spot.
he wouldn't be eliminated, but it would be definitely a big hurt for him moving forward.
yeah, I gotta do what I gotta do. I'm sorry to Bill.
Hmm.
Also,
Shut the hell up.
I haven't decided yet. If Bucky Irvin doesn't play again, I'm starting Demon Sean Tucker.
Okay. Yeah, that would be a boost for you if Bucky sits out one more week. All right. So there we have it. There is the Week 12 matchups. Good luck to everybody in Week 12. No overseas games anymore this season. Hooray. So we don't have to worry about that. Good luck to everyone. Make sure you keep an eye on your lineups, and we'll catch you back here for week number 13 to break down those playoffs coming in a couple weeks. These will be big Week 12 matchups.